Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today I'm sharing with you my artist trading cards for days 22 and 23 of the Artist Trading Card a Day Challenge from Art Joy of Sharing Art Community on Facebook, as well as our live stream channel, Art Joy of Sharing Livestream. So I kind of missed day 22 and I had to combine day 22 and day 23. For the way that I have to work like a couple days ahead in order to have time to edit these videos that I've been making every day. And so I got a little bit behind because of Father's Day and making pies and cooking and doing barbecue and all these different things. So I'm just combining 22 and 23 today, which in all the past years, this is the fourth year, I've combined my cards all together. You guys might have noticed if you've been watching that in the eye cards, which are those little things on the right hand side that have an eye, if you click on that, it will open my recommendations, and I've been putting the previous years of the same day on one of the previous years in the recommendation videos. I'm not sure that anybody goes and looks at those, but I just think it's kind of fun to see what the thing was in 2019, 2018, 2017. So you might have noticed that those videos have multiple cards in one video. And this year, I guess I just got a wild hair and decided that I was going to do a video every day. I don't know what I was thinking. So for this one, I just decided to do a little acrylic painting over a gel printed background. This is a ghost print. It was like a pickup of some leftover crusty bits on the gel plate when I was plating a bunch of different cards sometime towards the beginning of the month. And then I just saved those for use later. So I took a graphite pencil and I drew kind of a half of a face and a wing because I wanted to make a fairy. I just felt like making a fairy with butterfly wings. I don't know why. It probably looks a lot like something I've done before, but I don't really care. That's what I felt like painting. So I got out some mixed media fluid paint from Deco Art in the same type of colors. I don't know if they're exactly the same paints, but definitely the same colors that are on the ghost print, gel print in the background. And I decided to use those colors plus a color called Titan Buff, which is an off-white paint, to paint my fairy. So I just used the quinacridone magenta, the pyrrole orange, the cadmium red hue, and the Titan Buff, those four colors, to paint the whole thing because I figured it's nice to use the same. Sometimes you want to use a contrast, and sometimes it's just fun to do this is kind of monochromatic, really. It's all the same colors in the same color families as you would see together on the color wheel. So I did want to completely cover what was in the face and the neck and shoulder area of the face. So I did have to do maybe 3 coats of paint, and I mixed the Titan Buff with a little bit of the magenta and a little bit of the orange, the pyrrole orange, to make a Caucasian skin tone. You can mix your own skin tones. You don't have to buy a whole bunch of different colors for skin tone. It's really just a red, a yellow, and a white together. Sometimes a little bit of a blue, pure colors. And you just mix them together and you can make any color from really dark skin tone all the way to really pale skin tone with those colors, just depending on how much you put in. It's a fun color mixing challenge to do that, and I recommend everyone should, because you mix a mid-tone and then you need a light tone for highlight, and you need a darker mix where you add in a little bit more color for a shadow, and that's pretty much all you really need. And then maybe you want something that's a little bit more rosy for the cheek and the lip. Most people have, no matter what their skin tone, have a little bit more of a reddish tone in their cheek, maybe at the tip of their nose, the tip of their chin, and of course lips. Lips often have makeup, so they've got some type of a red or a pink on them depending on the person. So it's a fun thing to do to paint skin tones. I'll try to link, I will link a video that's a basic skin tone, very basic skin tone mixing video. I think it's in my basics playlist, and I'll put that in the iCard today for you so that if you want to think about mixing skin tones and try to make some faces or some bodies that are different colors, this would be a fun activity to try. Just knowing that you don't have to have all the skin tones. I just noticed somebody posted that they came out with a Crayola crayon box that's all the different skin tones, which I thought was really good because kids don't know how to mix skin tones, and maybe they would like to color people different colors, and they've never really had a lot of options for skin tones. So that's pretty cool. I actually want a box of those crayons. I'm going to have to go buy one. I just think that's cool. I don't color very often, but sometimes I do. Coloring's fun, and coloring with crayons is fun, and coloring in coloring books is fun. Of course, they have adult coloring books and adult pencils and pens to color. So I'm sorry that I am off the screen for a lot of this card. I didn't tip my camera down when I zoomed in. These cards are so small, 3.5 by 2.5, that, I need to zoom in so that you can really see if I have the option to do that. And I did zoom in, but then I didn't tilt the camera down so that you'd see the whole thing. And I was working in my usual working space, but it was off. So I did get out a very fine-tipped black marker and make illustration lines because that's just something I do. It isn't necessary, but this is not a realistic portrait. It's just a whimsical quickie. So I mixed pink and red and orange into her hair. I think it would be fun to have your hair this color. And, maybe some of you do. I've seen people with some really amazing colors. I usually have purple in my hair, but it's completely gone now. So it's just this boring, ugly brown color. I need to color it. I did use just the plain Titan Buff color as a highlight on the nose and the forehead and the chin. And then I actually colored her eye with part orange, part red, added a highlight, and, of course, the dark pupil with the marker. The lip I did with the straight red, and then on the bottom lip I mixed a little bit of a lighter color and put it on the bottom lip for a highlight. And then I mixed some magenta with some of the Titan Buff and made a cheek color. I have a darker skin tone underneath the chin and around the eye. Just, the usual portrait thing. I did bring out my white Posca pen to make the eye more white. It had a little bit of flecks of paint in it that looked weird, so I just dotted it and then added a little bit of a catch light with it as well. But that's the only thing I used my white Posca pen for. On the butterfly wings, I made some different circles and oblong oval type shapes like a butterfly wing would have. I did outline the outside of it with the black so that it stood out from the background. But I wanted that interesting background to show through on the butterfly wing as if it was kind of modeled or camo or whatever. That's where I finally figured out I needed to move my camera. It's almost to the end of this card. I finally figured out, yeah, I need to move my camera. But I didn't want to do the card over. So you guys are just going to have to survive with kind of a video halfway on the screen. I decided I didn't like those super light highlights. I went back over with some magenta again to darken up her hair. It was too streaky. And I'm just about done with this one. I didn't put a word on. I didn't think of what to put on there, so I just left it. I did use this black ink pad around the edges to make a little bit of a frame. So that's it for day 22, and here are your close-up photos. I added diamond stickles glitter glue. I think that fairies are sparkly. I think they would have sparkly wings. I added a little bit to the eye and a little bit to the bottom lip as well. Just a tiny bit of sparkly glitter. Lots of it traced around different areas of the wing. So for day 23, I decided to do collage. This is one of the backgrounds that I had from a long time ago, and then I used some texture paste that was a metallic gold color. It was called Antique Gold. It's from, oh, I'll link it in the description box below. It's just not coming to me. I know who it's from. TCW. It's from TCW. So that was through a Stencil Girl stencil and let to dry. I did this the other day when we were doing a live stream last Thursday, and I did different glitter ones and different metallic ones, and this is one of the metallic ones. It's just a paste that's already been colored. It's textural, you can feel it. So I just wanted to do some collage on it. I wanted to do a deconstructed peacock. I've been watching a lot of Food Network, and they do deconstructed food and deconstructed desserts, where you take all these different pieces apart and you put them together on a plate and say that it is the thing that it is, but it's all separated. And so I wanted to do shapes like on a peacock feather. This, for some reason, the background just kind of reminded me of a peacock color. It's really not, because it's like dark blue, light blue, and purple and gold. I'm not sure why. But anyway, this is just what it reminds me of, is a deconstructed peacock. So that's what I'm calling it. it's, it's my artist prerogative to do that if I want to. I have a teardrop shape like you would have on a peacock feather. I have round shapes in different sizes like you would have on a peacock feather. And then I just have this dark band to delineate the different spaces. And then I continued that theme on with some additional stuff, which you'll see in a minute. I'm just gluing all this stuff together, and these are bits and pieces that are from a little basket I have on my desk, which is overflowing. I need to separate out all the colors and put them in my color boxes, and I just haven't done it. I haven't had time. So these little dishes sit on my desk as well, right next to my space. And when something spills or there's just little extra pieces of something and I don't feel like putting it back where it goes, I just throw them in that little dish. So I pulled out some different sequins and half back pearls and different things out to put on my card. I felt like it was already textural with the background and it needed to continue to be more dimensional. So I also knew that I was going to add a really dark shadow. This is a dark card, and I've got those dark pieces of gel print that are printed on black paper. I knew I wanted to really have a heavy shadow, and so I got out my Pentel pocket brush, which has black India ink in it. It's got a flexible brush tip, and then also a blending tool, which is a water tank brush, and I'm adding that India ink and then blending it out to make it more watery and kind of calm down the white background, which was a dictionary page. And I think that looks a lot more dramatic. Then I'm just going to glue on layers of sequins, and I felt like I needed a third round spot up there. There was only two pieces and I needed a third one. So I put a large sequin and then a gold sequin and then a pearl, which really reminds me of the peacock feather. And then I added a couple more of those gold ones with the pearl in the center. And then I just finished it off with a scattering of the ones that kind of take the color of whatever is nearby. They're clear, but they have some type of a iridescent, reflective stuff on them. And I scattered a few of those on. And then I needed a word, which I ended up putting the word story, because that's my story. This is a deconstructed peacock feather. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So that's it for days 22 and 23. I hope you're enjoying this series, and if you are, please remember to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below, subscribe, and turn on your notification bells. And of course, you can share this on Pinterest, share it on Facebook, whatever you want to help people find my channel. I'm very happy and blessed when people do that, so please do if you can. And also, if you still want to join Art Joy of Sharing, the link is below the video, and you can come over on Thursdays and watch us live at the Art Joy of Sharing live stream. That's it for me. Thanks. Bye-bye.